is what
the election has already been declared at the polling station.
Yeah.
He's just coming to inform the people that in all these polling stations, these is the results.
Exactly.
Because the results have already been declared.
Okay.
So if the finality of the elections is at the polling station, what bars Spice Standard Media from collecting all these polling elections and declaring? There's absolutely nothing.
So if there's nothing that bars it, because then you have to look at both sides here.
Yes.
Whatever the other side is. Because there's a law on what it says, and it's very clear that it can happen if you operate within the the provisions of the law.
Yes.
So the other side would be that one that still insists that we've done all this work, people have stayed awake all night, people have counted, to within an inch of their lives, but then you still want to, for some reason, go to another location and continue to tally. What happens between now, the CTC and this NTC? What happens in between there that we have already seen this transmission? So could there be, because nature abhors a vacuum. If you don't tell us the reason why, then we're going to speculate.
Absolutely.
What happens between
and
there?
create anxiety.
Yes. What happens between there and there that perhaps you don't want people to see?
That's the thing. But by the way, I could almost give clear indication and confidence to our people that it is almost impossible these days to steal an election in terms of numbers. You can only steal an election in terms of procedure. But in terms of numbers, if you have a strong agency infrastructure, it's almost impossible to steal an election in terms of the numbers. And that is why you saw Raila never put up a petition on numbers at any given time. His petition was never premised on the difference of the numbers. It was almost always premised on the inconsistency and the impropriety of the election process. So if IBC is able to create a constitutional consortium with other players like the media, it's out informing the people. It will be impossible to steal this election. And that is why we are saying this election is an election that will make a significant statement to Kenya and to Africa.
Okay.
But on one thing, Dennis, the only thing that I fault IBC for is that IBC understands that they came into office with a very low credibility and trust deficit. But they have not done efforts to build that credibility and to win the people's confidence. So these things they are doing underhands, under the table, are the ones that are making people become suspicious. For example, before that proposal is done for the amendments, there ought to be the stakeholders' conference and stakeholders' engagements. They cannot leave this engagement, the media, out of these engagements. And they cannot. It is not simply enough to say that we have engaged the media owners. It is important to engage the people so that the people then are able to understand what is the philosophy behind these amendments. So that then you not be accused of continuing to conceal. For example, they have not even involved the political parties in these particular proposed amendments. IBC has never conducted any public forum to involve the people. The latest one they did was when they were launching the strategic plan. And that is not an engagement. You're coming to tell us this is what we have decided to do. And by the way, even when they were formulating the strategic plan, they never involved the major stakeholders. And you cannot ignore political parties in the democratic process. And Wiper and DP, DAPK and the PLP and Jubilee, they actually wrote to Ethicon telling him, you have left out a major significant stakeholders. But they are very cozy to allow and to engage with UDA, as if UDA is the only political party in this country.
Akili, there